What up, guys? In this video we are going to practice some more JavaScript by doing one of the Euler problems. And well, this is the first one. It's actually fairly simple. So basically all we want to do is list all the numbers from 1 through 10 that are multiples of 3 or 5 and get those and then add them up, which gives you 23. They want us to do it for everything below 1,000. So basically the same thing, but instead of 1 through 9, it's going to be 1 through 999. Okay, so you can do this with a for loop, but I'm going to do it in the more I guess functional way, or I don't know, I'm going to use a function and then a higher order function just because I think it's more fun. So first I'm going to declare a variable that we're going to add to, and I'm going to call it sum. And then let's create a function that's going to determine whether or not something should be added to the sum. So I'm going to call this 3 or 5. And I camel cased it really weird there, whatever. And then we're going to pass in some sort of list. And we'll say we'll list through the map, or we'll map through the list, excuse me. And we'll pass in an anonymous function here. And for each item we are going to do something. So let's have an if statement. So if it's a multiple of 5, oops, I need a modulus, 5 is 0, or a multiple of 3, that gives us 0 as well. So if multiple of 3, the remainder would be 0, so that's where modulus comes into play. And then we're just going to add it, or sum plus x. So this is just a shorthand for something like sum equals sum plus x, right? So you don't need to write it out the long way, just do it this way. And we'll print out the sum. Actually, it just occurred to me that we're actually going to need a loop here because, whoops, well, we could easily do something like 3 or 5 and then pass in a list like 1, 2, 3, whatever. If we're going to go to 1,000, we obviously can't do that. So let's pass in list here. And what we're going to do is we're still going to need a for loop. Damn it. Alright, so let me just say var or let list equals an empty array, and for var I equals 0, I less than or equals to 1,000, and I really just don't like for loops. And so let's see if this works. We're going to go node Euler 1 JS. Okay, so 0, 0, and we should get something like 230,000. There we go. Okay, so it's worth mentioning that this can be done in a lot less lines with just a simple for loop that for each number it does the same thing. It adds the sum and then just prints it out. But I decided to get fancy and create a whole function up here that maps through each item and then has the condition, which isn't necessary. I mean, you should never do something like that because it'll just it's just unnecessary, right? So let me just write it out. You'll just do something like, so we already have sum. You would just do something, get rid of this, and then in here have this. And then instead of calling this, I'll just say console log sum. Now watch this. I'm not even going to call the function that I have here. And whoops, x is not defined because I don't need to be using, I need to be using I, and we'll do the same here, whoops, and make this an I. And there you go. So this was all pretty unnecessary, but I don't know, just an example of how to use map. So next we're going to do this same problem in Elixir, and I believe it's going to be a lot more concise. So see you in that video.